I want to talk about Fortnite because it's a weird game, but it's also very interesting. Even just like the story of it. Do you remember Fortnite back when it was first announced? It seemed really promising. Then it went dark for a while, and then it finally came back, seeming a little different, but mostly the same concept. And now we have it, sort of. It's a paid early access game that will eventually be free to play. But what exactly it really is a wave-based survival horde style thing where you run around, you gather resources, kind of like a survival game, but way more light and arcadey here. And you run around, you gather up a bunch of stuff, then you build a fort to protect a point that you have to defend, and then you fight off all different types of zombies. Here they're called husks. And right there, the concept sounds really good, right? I mean, that's basically what this game really boils down to. It has a big community. It had a following. It had people playing from the alpha from the beginning. Now people can buy in and get access to this early access, which that's a whole other conversation in and of itself, but I think it does tie in here because the game is very much clearly designed around the free-to-play mechanic with lots of little things to do and micromanage in the menus and stuff. If you watched my Before You Buy video on Game Ranks, I think you should, because I touch upon a lot of stuff there that really bothered me and weird design and structure issues that I'm not a fan of, but I don't want to go into that too deep. What I do want to talk about here is I really do like Fortnite. I have a lot of problems with how it is set up, but ultimately when it boils down to it, like when you're just playing, it's fucking fun, dude. It's really good. It's got a good hook because it's a little bit tower defense, it's a little bit survival, it's a little bit Minecraft, it's a little bit Fallout 4 settlement building, but it really hits on all those levels in the right way. Like each of those games you come to for a specific thing and satisfaction. Like it might be a little bit of micromanaging, it might be a little bit of obsession with lining everything up right and building the perfect little thing. Then of course with tower defense there's just the addictiveness of that gameplay mode and the challenge and the hooks wherein. I do think Fortnite does falter a little bit on the challenge department. It's not the most difficult. It does ramp up after a while, but you got to put a lot of hours into this game. But really, I think it's when you get a good group going. Well, first, okay, let me back up. I knew I was starting to like Fortnite. And this is how I know when I like games like this, is when I'll be in a match that I'm taking very seriously and I'm grouped up in matchmaking with people who don't know what they're doing and they're messing up and it bothers me. It frustrates me. That's when I know I give a shit and I care about a game and I really like it, because Fortnite is that. Because when you get a good group going, everyone knows their role, everyone knows what they're gonna do. You run around, you gather stuff up, you build this cool ass fucking fort, and then you activate the wave and let the zombies come in and you fight them off, because the way the game is designed, it's like it's never really enough. Your traps that you set and the things you build around the base are never really quite enough to just fend them off. You're always gonna have to jump in and get your hands dirty, whether you build a tower to snipe zombies or you get in there with a melee weapon. And thankfully the combat is good. It's simple. I would have liked more of a dodge button, more of a crouch button, stuff like that, but it's effective. It works. The shooting does actually feel pretty damn good, and it all kind of looks really good. The game does a really good job of having characters and quirks and all these things that are interesting, but they don't try too hard to try and be forced memorable characters. They don't try too hard to be like this over-designed thing. It just works. It's effective. It's not too obnoxious. It's not too kiddie. It's not too edgy. It's just there. But the game does look really good. I love the color palettes. I love the look of the world. One of the things I really do want, and what I'm looking forward to hopefully, is more map design down the line. I'm looking for more variety. Once you get to Plankerton, things do shake up a bit, but you got to spend a lot of time to get there, and I think honestly some people might lose interest before that point. But if you are buying into the game, if you're paying money to get into this, I'm pretty sure chances are you probably want to see everything you can, and there's a little bit of a grind you got to put in sometimes, but it also boils down to what you're into. Are you into micromanaging all these systems and leveling up your character and designating characters for certain perks and basically just collecting and crafting loot and earning enough points to buy more loot crates or loot boxes to get more things? Me personally, I'm not into that shit. I'm not into loot boxes. I'm not into getting more loot. I was pretty good with what I had in the game. But like I said, when it comes down to the actual core element of playing the game, that's where I really like it. Because that main game mode I keep talking about, it's really, really addictive. There's some things I don't like with that. I do like kind of the way it's like a map and it's mission-based. It's a little linear, but you can go back and grind through levels again. They are interesting enough where they're good to be replayed because they all kind of boil down to the same core gameplay tenet. It's just vaguely got a mission structure sure. But I want more modes. Honestly, I went into Fortnite thinking it would be straight up like a horde mode thing where you just matchmake and just have long drawn out matches where you build, but it's not really that. It's a lot more systems heavy, like I said, but it's systems that I'm not really that into. I also would really love to see a PvP mode because the fort building stuff is awesome. The fort building stuff I think is so well designed. I was really blown away by it, just because it does a really good job of being in between very technical and you being able to build stuff that is actually pretty varied and different and not just crap, but also it's quick and it's accessible, so if shit is going down and there are zombies everywhere, it's quick enough to access, and the controls and everything are mapped nicely enough that you can build stuff on the fly as you walk, which is really cool, and that's not an easy feat to design something like that. I can't imagine it. But that is 100% where the game shines, when you're playing with people and you're building stuff, and I would love to see some sort of PvP mode added to that, where you build a fort over there and a player builds a fort over there and you have to like assault each other or something. I don't know. I'm not the game maker, but I would like to see stuff like that. I would like to see more maybe longer drawn out more modes and more wave-based survival modes where you just go until you die. And now, because this game is technically early access, while it does feel kind of like a finished product, stuff like that it is missing, so I'm hoping that's where they do start adding stuff. What I do also really like too is that it's kind of cross-play. PC, PS4, your account and your progression and your achievements all kind of transfer back and forth. So that's cool. Sometimes I fire it up on the PC and play. Sometimes I play on my PS4. It's just funny because it was a game I was initially into, and then once I heard that it was free to play and it was going to be this paid early access thing, wasn't really into it. But I still remembered how I was into it from the beginning, and I see a community on Reddit that's really into it. So I jumped in, and I'm surprised. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. When I play with friends, it's the absolute best. I will say that. But I think what we have here is like a competent game that I do want to keep following, and I'm curious to see what else they're going to add, because there's a lot more shit I want. For me, it's not enough yet. There's shit tons of systems, but the actual gameplay itself, there's really only one thing you're really doing, and I want more. Because aspects of it are clearly very well made, and I just want to play more and have more fun. But Fortnite has been a big thing. I think it already sold, at the time of this video, 500,000 copies they just announced. So people are interested and curious. So I know a lot of you guys out there are probably playing it. So I do want to hear in the comments like what you're thinking. Some people, I've seen in other comments like on GameRanks and stuff, some people immediately dismiss it as shit, and some people absolutely love it. So I want to know what you're thinking, whether you fall in the middle or you're one end. Let's talk. Anything you feel about Fortnite down there. Also, for that 100,000 subscriber giveaway, I didn't forget, I'm going to flash up the winners of some stuff here, right there, right now. Congratulations. I probably reached out to you, but if you haven't heard from me, reach out to me because you won some free games. Thanks for that whole 100,000 subscriber giveaway thing. I guess now the road is to 200,000. Let's be real. I'm never going to hit 1 million here. But as always, thank you guys for coming around here and listening to me ramble about video games and stuff. I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe because video games.